Moran Ironworks built and launched 2 ocean-going barges for Durocher Marine, a division of Kokosing Construction Company based in Sheboygan, Michigan. Kokosing 3 and Kokosing 4 were launched at the Port Calcite facility in Rogers City, Michigan. Join us as we bring you a behind-the-scenes look at this monumental event.
So I'm Kirsten Daniels, account manager for marine projects with Moran Ironworks. Day-to-day duties consist of working on, obviously selling, fabricating our fabrication services in vessels and barges, utilizing the port facility here at Calcite to do cargo movements, have vessels come in and out and offload or load cargo. Today we're launching the first of 2 deck barges that we're building for Durocher Marine, which is a division of Kokosing Construction Company. The deck barges are 180 by 54 by 12 feet each, and they are what are called ABS class, American Bureau of Shipping classed deck barges, so they can operate both domestically here on the Great Lakes, on any of the coasts, and also internationally. So they're deck cargo barges, so they'll take some of Durocher's cargo and for specific projects, and their first port of call is for a project that's taking place in Oswego, New York. So it was about a year ago, April of May 2014, we started working with Durocher, who has been a long-term customer of ours, on putting this project together. They knew they wanted a couple of deck barges, and so they talked to us about what they had and their vision, and we partnered with a naval architect who put the drawings together for us. So ourselves, Durocher Marine, and the naval architect all worked together. As we made the designs, then we turned that over to project management, who is an in-house department at Moran Ironworks. They did some of the detailed design work and ordered material and things like that. As things started coming in, we obviously created the fabrication plan. So from project management to the shop floor is a big transition, and as I mentioned, we built them in modules. So each module is fabricated in the shop and truck shipped over here. So that all took place early fall of 2014. We were fabricating. Almost all the modules were over here at the beginning of the year, 2015, and just the final touches of paint and all that took place at the beginning of the year, obviously dodging the snow and weather. And so now, since the ice has broken out of the frog pond and out of the lake, it's kind of an opportune time for us to launch the barges so the customer can take them to their operation site.
Well, what's happening today is we're launching the second one of 2 barges. As you can see, we're using great big pneumatic rollers. They weigh about 1 million pounds a piece, so between the 2 of them, we're talking about a considerable amount of weight, about 1,000 tons. We have a couple pieces of equipment on each of them to hold them back. Actually, those pneumatic rollers work pretty well, and they would roll into the water and then be uncontrollable. If we had reversed them, we could have dumped them into the water and not been loose, but because they're bow first, we were a little concerned to begin with last year about how we would launch them, and maybe we would touch the bottom, so that's why we have them bow first. We have a couple of D11 cats, I think, or D12 cats on them to hold them back. So that gives us about 100,000 pounds of holdback pressure.
The company that we're working with, their name is Centerlift, and they're out of Louisiana, and they provide launch services for a bunch of unique applications. So deck barge like this, any large vessel, dry docks. They do a lot of salvage projects. So lifting vessels or any kind of marine component and placing it in the water or hauling it out is kind of their specialty. So we knew that we had a unique situation here where we were building the barges, and our crane is obviously able to pick up one of the modules, but not 8, all at one time. So we contacted them, and they basically took the vessel size and the weight and configured it with our ramp, the percent or degree of decline there, and they did the math to figure out that they needed 7 of these airbag sizes. So basically, everything plays into this, the amount of air pressure that's put into each sausage, how much weight is distributed on each. And what they do is they kind of use the air and control the weight of the barge allocated across all of these different ones. So for ours specifically, there's 7 different airbags spread across, distributed equally among the 180 feet. So basically what they'll do is when they'll use a heavy piece of equipment to push the barges into place on a 0-degree part, just the flat land. And then once it starts to get over to the ramp, they'll hold it back with 2 D10 dozers, and basically the weight of the barge is on that while they're rolling down the ramp. And as it rolls, they'll take one of the rollers that has come out of the back and bring it down to the front. So it's kind of a slow process while they'll deflate the one, bring it back, and it kind of just keeps going and going until it goes into the water. So from start to finish, it's probably a 6-hour iteration from blowing up the bags and taking all the blocks out to them being in the water. So it's an all-day affair, yeah. Obviously, it's a unique situation being in northern Michigan. Weather does play a decent role, but flexibility, a lot of flexibility with our shop, the port, the customer has really played well into the project. This has been one of our first full marine projects, so a lot of new experiences have been for us working with a naval architect, the ABS being the classification society. They come and inspect the barges on a pretty regular basis. That was pretty new for us. So being flexible with all that and understanding that there are changes in schedule and there are changes in scope of the project, and being able to communicate that among all parties involved has been pretty good. So I think everything is going as planned. In terms of the launch, I think it really works well with, as all the ice has left, the customer can take delivery of the barges and use them for their project this spring. So it's been working out pretty well.
What it means? Well, it further sinks our roots in the marine market. Number one. Number two is, this is a year's worth of work for 100. This supported 100 families in northern Michigan. Believe it or not, not 100 people, 100 families. So it's a year's worth of work for 100 families. Millions of dollars worth of commerce. Means a lot, actually. And another success story for the company and the craftsmen that work for us. We've
been really fortunate that we have a really great rapport with some big name players in the marine industry. So for example, the Durocher Marine, that company has been a Moran Ironworks customer for close to 30 years. So when you develop a rapport with some smaller projects, they see your capabilities and they can trust you with something like this. So we were fortunate that our first project was with a customer, a past customer. So we hope that obviously the success of this and the quality and safety and efficiency that people see in this, especially across the Great Lakes, the marine industry, we hope that opens a lot of doors for opportunity. Another comparable project is the Shepler's vessel. That's a customer that we've had a rapport with over quite some time, and they've let us do some modifications, repair projects, major extensions, and any kind of application to their marine projects, and now they're letting us do a full construction project. So again, we're hoping that the news that will spread allows people to understand that Moran Ironworks can and will fabricate any aluminum, steel, any kind of project, especially with the capabilities we have here at the port. I think those fabrication capabilities with our logistics capabilities really bode well with marine projects on the Great Lakes.
And then, of course, all late summer, fall, winter, we build the modules, brought them over here. And our guys suffered, the conditions like they are right now, only more vicious. if you could times this by 10, that's what they lived in all winter long. So our guys really stuck it out to put them together. And just about the time the weather was getting good is about the time we finished. So here we are.
It's pretty crazy to see an email from a customer that says, we want to build a 180 by 54 by 12 deck barge. Can you do this? We say yes. We send the plan to a naval architect who then sends us a drawing, so you have a kind of a picture of what you want. Then you see all the material arrive and you see it all laid out on the shop floor for one piece, of this barge. And then you come out here to the port and you see them putting a bunch of different pieces together. And then today you see both barges side by side ready to go on the water. I mean, from day one, an email almost a year ago, and all the work that goes into it to today when the customer will take it, later this week to the destination. I think probably just thinking of that whole process just today, thinking of everything that happened is pretty amazing.
Well, number one, I'm just proud of the accomplishments of my people, engineering, administration, and shop. Number two is safety. We've done it and no one's gotten hurt. That's a big deal. And number three is that it's added to the commerce of Northeast Michigan. So all in all, it's a win for everybody.
We're hoping that this is kind of the opening, Moran Ironworks coming out and saying, hey, we are a major player in marine fabrication on the Great Lakes. And if that can be the news from this, I think that'll be pretty good. So.